August 2012. London, 11 p.m. Inside one of the most secure casinos on Earth, a quiet move was unfolding that would leave security stunned, executives scrambling, and millions missing before anyone understood what had happened. No weapons, no disguises, no break-ins, no laws broken. Yet one of the most exclusive casinos in the world lost £7.7 million in just 2 nights. Not to hackers, not to thieves, but to a perfectly legal strategy hidden in plain sight, executed with the cold precision of a surgeon and the patience of someone who had been waiting years for this exact moment. The man at the table was Phil Ivey, one of the greatest poker players alive, relaxed, smiling, every inch the whale the casino had been hoping to see walk through that door. But this story isn't really about him. This is the story of Kelly's son, the woman who designed a casino strategy so precise, so legal, and so invisible that even today, casinos still argue whether it was a crime at all. Casinos do not lose by accident. Every game is engineered so the house wins, slowly, quietly, mathematically. The odds are small. The margins are thin, but over time, the casino always wins. So when Crockford's casino in London watched millions disappear without cheating, without devices, without broken rules, they weren't angry at first. They were confused. Because confusion, that creeping, hollow feeling that something is deeply wrong but you can't name it, is far more dangerous to a casino than loss. By the time those 2 nights were over, Phil Ivey had won £7.7 million at Crockford's. Earlier that same year, $9.6 million at the Borgata in Atlantic City, more than $21 million total. He never touched the cards, never marked anything, never broke a law. And yet, Crockford's refused to pay, because someone had outplayed the casino at its own game, and that someone was sitting quietly beside him, watching, calculating, waiting. 3 months earlier, Las Vegas. Long before the first chip hit the table, Kelly's son was sitting in a hotel room in Las Vegas with Phil Ivey, holding a single playing card under the light. She wasn't famous. She wasn't flashy. She didn't chase wins. She hunted weaknesses. Not a gambler. Something far more dangerous. An advantage player. Someone who doesn't gamble against odds but searches for cracks in systems designed to be unbeatable. She rotated the card slowly, studying it, tilting it.
Look at the edge.
Phil Ivey looked.
I don't see anything.
She handed him a magnifying glass.
Now look.
Silence. One edge of the card's pattern was 0.3 millimeters wider than the other, a defect so small it passed quality control, inspection, and years of casino use without a single person catching it. Invisible to almost everyone, but not to her. Phil looked up.
You're telling me this is enough?
Kelly's reply was simple.
It's more than enough.
This flaw had a name. Edge sorting. Not card marking, no bending, no scratching, no altering. It exploits manufacturing imperfections on the back of playing cards. The deck had a repeating diamond pattern, but the pattern wasn't perfectly symmetrical. One long edge, white border slightly thicker. The opposite, slightly thinner. To the naked eye, identical. Under close observation, the difference was undeniable. If a player could persuade a dealer to rotate certain high-value cards 180 degrees, and if those cards were later shuffled without being flipped, those cards would face a different direction than the rest. In Baccarat, that difference is everything. The house edge is just over 1%. But if you know whether the next card is high or low, that edge collapses. You're no longer guessing. You're predicting. Phil Ivey leaned back slowly, letting the weight of it settle over him.
How do you get the casino to rotate the cards?
Kelly smiled.
You ask nicely.
Kelly's son, born Chung Yin, Kelly's son, was not a random gambler who stumbled into genius. Raised in China, forged in Macau, the world's largest gambling market, a city that runs on risk and eats the unprepared alive. By the mid-2000s, already known in high-stakes circles for her sharp mind and iron composure. But her real education came from darkness, In 2007, a gambling debt tied to her boyfriend pulled her into the worst side of casino culture. Detained by private debt collectors, no windows, no clocks, cold concrete. Then nearly 3 weeks in a mainland detention facility, cut off from the outside world. When she was released, most people would have run, would have walked away from every card, every table, every casino forever. Kelly didn't. She studied, not the glamour, the systems, manufacturing defects, card symmetry, casino procedures, human habits. She trained her eyes to catch what others couldn't see. She trained her patience to wait hours, sometimes entire sessions, for a single opportunity. Not chasing jackpots, building certainty. In gambling circles, she earned a nickname, the Queen of Swords. Crockford's Casino, London. Founded in 1827, one of the oldest private clubs in the world. Members only, royalty, billionaires. The kind of place where the carpets cost more than most people's houses. In August of 2012, Phil Ivey walked in. 10 World Series of poker bracelets, net worth over $100 million. The perfect distraction. While the casino saw a whale, Kelly's son saw a system waiting to break. They didn't break rules. They made requests. A Mandarin-speaking dealer. Certain cards rotated for luck. An automatic shuffler that randomized order, but never flipped orientation. The same deck kept in play. In high-stakes baccarat, none of this raised flags. Casinos accommodate players betting £50,000 a hand. You want a specific dealer? Done. You have superstitions about cards? Of course, sir. 1 request? Harmless. 2? Superstition? All of them combined? A blueprint. The first hours weren't about winning. Kelly watched. Calm. Still. She spoke softly in Mandarin, her voice barely above the ambient murmur of the room.
That card. Turn it for luck.
Only certain cards. 7s, 8s, 9s, hand by hand, shoe by shoe. Slowly, invisibly, the deck transformed. High-value cards faced one direction. Low-value cards faced the other. It still looked random, but randomness was gone. Once the shoe was shuffled, without rotating the cards, the house edge vanished. Wide edge, high card, narrow edge, low card. No signals, no secret gestures, no earpieces, no accomplices across the room. The system was agreed before they ever sat down. The bets did the talking. Edge favorable, wagers climbed, edge gone, they pulled back. By 3 a.m., Phil Ivey was up £1.5 million. To the floor manager watching from the corner, a lucky streak. Inside the math, the game was broken. The one assumption holding everything together, that players cannot read cards by their backs, was dead. And without that assumption, the house has nothing. Managers watched. Security reviewed footage. Cards were pulled and inspected under light. They searched for marks, devices, ink, anything, nothing. But the betting patterns were too precise, too controlled, too perfect. A man doesn't bet £50,000 on a single hand 17 times in a row by instinct. By the end of night 2, £7.7 million gone. As they walked out into the cool London night, heels clicking across the pavement, Kelly said quietly,
They're not going to pay.
Phil looked at her.
You're sure?
She didn't hesitate.
They know.
Borgata Casino. Same technique, same patience, same flaw. 4 sessions, $9.6 million. This time, the casino paid. Then they reviewed the footage, consulted the manufacturers, reconstructed every hand, and then they sued. 2 continents, 2 legal systems, 1 question. Was this cheating? Crockford's argued deception. Kelly's son and Phil Ivey argued advantage play. The UK Supreme Court ruled against Ivey in 2016. No criminal law broken. But the court found dishonesty, exploiting the dealer to gain an advantage the game was never meant to allow. Crockford's kept the money. In the US, the ruling was harsher. Ivey was ordered to repay $10.1 million. Kelly's son never testified. After the rulings, she vanished. Phil Ivey was the face. Kelly's son was the architect. She found the flaw. designed every request, controlled the tempo, built the entire system from the ground up, inside a hotel room in Las Vegas, holding a single card under the light. No alarms, no masks, no force. Just patience, psychology, and mathematics. And the quiet courage to ask for a card to be turned, for luck. After Kelly's son, casinos rewrote the rulebook. New card designs, stricter inspections, mandatory card rotation during shuffles, hard limits on player superstitions. Not because someone cheated, because someone understood the system better than the people running it.